No, like on his banner, like it just makes me mad. Alright, that one's perfect.
Yeah, so you can post comments, you can have chat, you can invite guests, you can have a private chat. And welcome back to Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends on Downtown Hot Ticket to the Streets, London Energy, WHTL, Urban Radio, FM World Pakistan, The Voice. So we're just playing one of my favorite Jason Derulo songs. So, of course, Jason Derulo was just part of the Wawa Welcome America concert here on the 4th of July, which was uh, at the Met Philly. So, like all the other concert venues, the Met Philly is closed, but they were doing the performances remotely from the venue with social distancing and no audience, which, of course, is also how they did the BET Awards this weekend. And I think going forward, a lot of the time now until COVID becomes contained and flattened is how we're going to see a lot of our award shows. I know usually I think in September is the MTV Video Awards. So I'll be interested to see if moving forward, if this is how they do the MTV Video Awards. I know New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week, a lot of the fashion weeks are just restructuring right now and have canceled. But little by little, we're seeing some of these events being done virtually. And now, slowly, again, try to be creative and stay afloat. A lot of event producers are starting to do virtual events, but then charging a fee for it. So, Philadelphia Fashion Week is actually having an event. I believe it's tonight or Saturday. It's called the Mass Ball. So it's a virtual event. They're gonna have a red carpet where you can tune in to their Instagram, the Philly Fashion Week Instagram, and be all dressed up. And apparently, they're going to be doing some form of swag bags and judging people's red carpet looks. And if you visit the Instagram and Facebook of Philly Fashion Week and Kevin Parker, and I think Philly Fashion Week PR Instagram, they have a link for tickets. I believe off the top of my head, it's around $20 for general, which allows you to tune in. And I am assuming they're going to provide a virtual link. And then you can see the speakers. They're going to have Fern Malice and some other fashion industry people just talking about fashion and I guess judging people's looks and so they encourage everybody to get dressed up and wear masks and then DJ Hollywood is going to be spinning tunes, so it's going to be an interactive dance party. So that's fun. I mean, again, we all have to nowadays, right now, just find ways to keep doing the same things, but in a different and safe manner. So now, just pulling up a story for those of you who grew up in the 90s, like myself, you may remember the case of Mary Kay Letourneau and Billy Villau. For those of you who don't know or have forgotten, this case happened in the 90s. They made many TV movies out of this. So Mary Kay Letourneau was an elementary school teacher. She was married and had one or two kids of her own. And so she fell in love with her 14-year-old student, Billy Villau, and then they wound up having a secretive love affair, and then she got arrested and was sent to prison, and then apparently he snuck out of his house, and they got together, and she wound up becoming pregnant with his child, I think when he was maybe 16 or something like that. And so after she was released in 2005, they continued to be together. I think they had a total of three children together and they got married. But then in 2017, they had apparently marital problems. And so, uh, uh, despite all the obstacles that they endured, as a couple to be together, and it was very controversial, at the time. And Mary Kay had to register as a sex offender, and she was sentenced to 7 years to prison for child rape in connection with their relationship. Um, and he was only 15 when she got pregnant with their first child. So by the time she was released from prison, Falau was an adult, and then he petitioned the court to allow them to see each other. But then a restraining order, his mom apparently had filed a restraining order against Letourneau at the time, and that was later dismissed after Billy pleading to the court that he was in love with Mary, and they married in 2005, but ultimately they split in 2017 when Falau filed for separation. And they still live together, even though they were split, which I always find kind of odd how but apparently this has happened with a number of Hollywood couples. I mean, I guess I wouldn't quite call them Hollywood, but it was a sensational story at the time and all in the headlines. But apparently, it just things just didn't last, and they had marital issues, and then in 2019 they did get divorced. Now, of course, when a serious relationship is thrust on a child and you're growing up and maturing at the same time as the relationship is evolving, there isn't a, I mean, there's a big chance that it's not going to last, which is also why a lot of these statutory rape and child molestation laws are in place, because when you're 14, 12, you don't have the maturity to really, you're not an adult, and so you're not going to think like an adult, and you're still maturing and developing, and you're emotionally and mentally vulnerable at that age, and you're supposed to be able to look to adults to protect you. And so Mary Kay Letourneau apparently just passed away of cancer at the age of 58. So apparently it came on very sudden, and just ravaged her. And during the course of her sentencing, she actually lost custody of her children from her first marriage. And I assume now that Billy has sole custody of the children they have together. And he did kind of dip into reality TV for a minute. So of course, in these situations, nobody wins because it affects all the children. And just this just reinforces, adults have to be responsible and accountable for their actions. So now in other current events, so of course, we're all looking for to get back to normality right now and to get slices of the life that we used to live with entertainment. And so, again, many businesses are in the position where they're trying to flex to what's going on and adapt their businesses to continue to stay afloat. But flex to the safety issues that COVID presents. So, AMC movie theaters had come out and said that by the end of the summer, end of July, that they're anticipating opening up select theaters to the public again with social distancing and sanitation. Now, this week, Walmart just announced that they're going to transform uh, 160 parking lots of their chains into outdoor cinemas for a total of 320 screenings across the country from August till October. So Walmart is looking to restore movie magic to the summer season. Of course, summer is usually when the big box office blockbusters come out, but all the studios pretty much have halted production on TV and movies, and many films are just going straight to Netflix and video. So now Walmart announced today that the retail giant is partnering with Tribeca Enterprises, and that they'll transform 160 participating Walmart parking lots into makeshift drive-in movie theaters. So the department store released an illustration of what the experience will look like, though they're still working out all the details, including the list of locations that will be participating in the dates and movie titles. But I think this is pretty great. It'll be interesting to see if it's successful. Will this be something that Walmart will continue to do past October? Yeah, it also raises concerns. Well, what safety precautions will they be doing to make sure that people are social distancing if they're getting out of their cars and that they're uh, being safe? And but it's I think it's a creative and good move. Hopefully, it doesn't put out of business the other movie chains. But I think drive-in movies are really a good idea right about now, where we can safely socialize but have distance and still enjoy entertainment. It's really right now a quandary as to where the concert industry is going to move in the months going forward. Many artists have rescheduled their concerts to um, months like October, January of next year, September. But in some ways, September is right around the corner, October is right around the corner, and we still haven't licked this COVID thing across the nation. So it's going to be interesting to see if for artists who are saying that, okay, they're going to be performing here at this venue on this date, if that's going to actually be happening, and then also how concert promoters and producers, what they're going to be doing with ticketing, because normally they just sell out a whole venue, and the goal is to pack the venue. But with COVID still on the rise, we have to have distancing. So it'll be interesting for the concerts that do move forward. Are they actually going to think in regards of capping tickets after a certain point, redesigning the seating and the venues and different safety precautions? Because you have to also keep in mind the safety of the artists, the crew, as well as the attendees. So it's just going to be interesting to see how that evolves. I'm seeing a lot of international concerts that are still promoting that they're happening, which it's kind of odd when there's travel bans and everything going on. But I also understand that people have businesses to run. This is how people make their livelihood. But I think in some regards, it's a little too soon to be thinking about concerts for September, October, November until we make a more forward movement in containing COVID. So some artists, of course, the different DJs like DJ Nice and Kid Capri and Diamond Cuts have been doing free concerts. But there are some artists now who are like Fantasia who are moving in the direction of they go to a specific venue and they social distance and then they do concerts, but you have to go to their website to pay to be on it to see it. I think that that might be a better and more responsible way to go. I mean, like everyone else, I miss concerts, I miss gathering, I miss the arts, I miss covering events and all that stuff that brings us joy and brings us together. But we have to think about the bigger picture. And right now, it's just not safe in every area to do that. So I think that moving forward, like a lot of the TV hosts are doing virtual broadcasting, I think that it would be a good move for a lot of these artists to be thinking in the same way and how they can capitalize on the virtual experience. Because a lot of artists are like John Legend, Alicia Keys, the Versus series are bringing us this art for free, which is great. But after a certain point, they can only give their work and their performance away for free for so long. So maybe time to think in a more creative way of how you can charge and give people different things, but still be safe and perform and connect with people. Maybe offering an interactive experience during the concert for VIP or like a virtual meet and greet, things of that nature. I think this is the time where we really have to be creative and think in different ways. So, yeah, we'll be bringing you updates on all these things as they continue to develop, and as we see how the movie and entertainment industry continues to flex and to the concerns of what's going on right now. So next week we're gonna have an exciting featured guest. We'll be welcoming Jeffrey Brown, who is the owner of 7 ShopRite franchises in the Philadelphia area. And Jeffrey is also a very active a social activist in Philadelphia, involved in empowering the communities and providing rehabilitative employment. He sits on the board of the Uplift Foundation, which provides rehabilitative job training and placement with citizens who were formerly incarcerated. He does a lot of work with providing health care and medicine and other community services to the Philadelphia community. He's been featured in the New York Times, Fox News, a lot of different media platforms, just for all the work he does in the community and the empowering way that he runs his business. So we'll be back, and we have some exciting guests coming this month. We thank you for tuning in this week. We're taking you out with another musical break. Yeah, bringing you all the new hits this week from Usher, John Legend, Lady Gaga. We're always your stop for feel good music. So we thank you for tuning in this week. And I hope that you're staying safe and just staying focused and positive wherever you're tuning in on to us around the world. So, of course, you can follow the Style and Empowerment Chat with Lauren Friends Facebook page. Follow me on Instagram at the Laura Mazurek, and we welcome your feedback, your requests. Stay safe out there, stay empowered, and we'll be back next week with more fashion empowerment and motivation. Have a fantastic day. Oh, baby, how you doing?